Guide Milon through the 4 levels of Garland Castle in his quest to reach the top floor and vanquish the big boss. The journey is a difficult one though, because the castle is locked up tight, and Milon doesn't have the keys. You will have to use your bubble attacks to fend off the castle baddies while busting up every block in sight and trying to find all of the hidden treasures and other secrets throughout the game. Unlike most platformers, Milon's secret castle is less about defeating all of the enemies in an area, and more about scouring every bit of each room to find the secrets that lie within Garland Castle. Milon can uncover practically anything in the game. This includes items, power-ups, money, shields, keys, level exits, even shops. The only way to get to each level boss is to find the right secret items. In Milon's Secret Castle! Brought to us by Hudson, released in 1988. This is an action-adventure game, and really kind of fun. The Japanese translates to The Maze Suite, Milon's Great Adventure. Our protagonist, Milon, lives in the land of Hudson, where people use music to communicate with each other. However, Milon does not have the ability to communicate. He always asked himself, why is he the only one who lacks the ability to understand people and music? One day, he decides to travel throughout the land of Hudson to search for other people like himself. Before leaving for his trip, Milon decides to visit Queen Eliza, who lives in Castle Garland, known as Hudson's secret castle in Japan. When Milon arrives at Castle Garland, the people are being attacked by the evil warlord Maharito from the North region. Maharito robs the innocent people by stealing all their musical instruments and occupies the Castle Garland. Queen Eliza is held captive deep inside Castle Garland by Maharito and his demon monsters. Milon volunteers to fight Maharito and his demons and to rescue Queen Eliza and the musical instruments for the people of Hudson. This will not be an easy task. Castle Garland has many different rooms, and each room is a maze filled with demons, secret passages, and doors. However, the castle's magician tells Milon that Queen Eliza has hidden many tools, instruments, and money to help him. The magician also gives Milon a magic bubble to assist him in finding the places where the helpful items are hidden and where they may be bought. This game is an adventure game. It's an action-adventure platformer game. Excuse me. Similar to, you could say, the Goonies. You could say Nightmare. You could say Maze of Gallius. You could say La Mulana a little bit. You could say Metroidy a little bit. I refuse to use the term Metroidvania because that's stupid. Basically, the object is to go into each room, search, find money, break blocks, get treasures, get items, take what you find, go to other rooms, go to stores, and buy equipment that you need to break certain blocks, to jump higher, to fall slower, whatever it may be. Defeat the boss of each floor of the castle, as there are different floors, and then move on to the end of the game. Pretty easy. We start at the bottom of a 4-story castle, and we have to make our way upwards, searching the 3 main stories as well as the 2 side towers in the very top. If the player stays too long outside of the castle, lightning bolts fall from the sky. Each room in the castle contains many enemies and hidden items. Milon's bubbles are both a tool and a weapon. Throwing bubbles at soft blocks will cause them to break apart and create additional routes, reveal hidden shops, or expose specific items. The bubbles can also destroy the demons that inhabit those given rooms, though they will come back after several seconds. Each story can only be reached by defeating a boss first. Although seemingly basic, the only way the bosses can even be reached is by discovering a host of secrets, some of which require sheer luck or a helpful manual. These bosses are much larger than the regular demons and take many bubbles to defeat. They attack by leaping back and forth, spitting out fireballs that take a lot of health off. When a demon monster dies, however, it stays dead and releases a crystal ball, and, at times, make Milon's bubbles larger and make them fly farther. The demon monster's rooms can then be used to get to the next story of the castle. Throughout the entire game, you are only given 1 life. And when that 1 life is lost, the game is over and you must start over. However, if you hold left on the control pad while pressing start at the title screen, you can start where you left off. This command, however, does not work before collecting the first crystal, and was only featured in the instruction booklet of the Famicom version. The game, unfortunately, has been poorly received by critics. GameSpot's Frank Provo described the game as easily one of the worst games ever made. Provo criticized the control scheme, saying, Milon runs like his feet are greased, and his jumps are easily interrupted by nearby blocks that are adjacent or directly above him. Provo awarded Milon's Secret Castle a terrible score of 2 out of 10. Well, sorry, Frank Provo, but I'm going to have to disagree with you there. I thought the game was a lot of fun. Once I got into it and kind of figured it out, I did have to use a walkthrough to do it. I let's played it. It was not an easy game. I actually had to get an infinite life cheat because it was just, I was dying constantly. But it's not a bad game. The controls do take some getting used to. Milon has acceleration and deceleration. You've got to build up a running start sometimes if you want to jump higher, and sometimes you don't have a lot of room to do that. You know, like in Kirby. Kirby doesn't start off instantly at top speed. He's got a little kick step before he has to go. Mario and Mario 3, you can get him up to running speed, but it takes a little while, right? It's not an easy game. Ain't gonna lie, it's not an easy game. Graphically, it's not super impressive. But if you liked Metroid, if you liked Legacy of the Wizard, if you liked, like I said, Maze of Gallius, Nightmare, La Mulana, games like that, this could potentially be a fun game for you. But if you're gonna try it, you gotta really give it some time. Give it a good 20, 30 minutes. By the way, in episode 19 of Game Center CX, our host, Arino, played through the Famicom version of the game and successfully cleared it. You can be on the lookout for that episode to show up at the LowBiasGaming website in the forums.